What is up, Wolverine Nation? I got my guy here, Maze Madman. What is good, bro?
What's good, man? Go blue,
Yeah,
of course.
hell yeah, man. Glad to have you on the show. It's been a long time coming. We had this scheduled for a minute, man. So I've been looking forward to it.
Yeah, for sure. Me too, man. Glad you guys, offered to bring me on.
Oh,
Ready to get going. I see a bunch of Wolverine fans in the comments. Some familiar faces. Good to see
hell
those
yeah.
guys.
Hell yeah, bro. All right. So anyone new to the show, any new viewers, I'm TJ Ronin. You can find me on Twitter at TJ_Ronin. You can check it at the bottom of the screen. And then my guy, Maze Madman, let them know where they can find you.
Absolutely. It's at Maze Madman everywhere on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. Even though I haven't updated that in a minute, but at Maze Madman everywhere. Very simple.
Bad dude. All right, let's give a shout out before we get this thing going to our new member to the channel, Maze Wolverine. Shout out to Maze Wolverine for joining the community. We appreciate it, man. Welcome to Michigan football at the voice of college football. Then I got to give a shout out to my new BFF, Doreen. She is a Buckeye, but we made up and we're good friends now.
I saw on one of your old shows you were saying Doreen
Yeah,
didn't like you.
yeah. There was a moment where I thought it was confirmed she hated me, bro, but we're good now. So, oh yeah. Uh, oh my God, Darren is in the house, bro. I think you're next week, ain't you, bud? I think he is.
Darren talks
So
ball.
next
Shout out
week,
to Darren.
yeah, my certified ball knower Darren talks ball. He will be on next week. Let's get it. And then anyone who is new to the call in, how we do this, there is a StreamYard in the link. John, if you could drop the link in the description. I know you're out there. Drop the link in the description for people. Call in. If you got questions for me or Maze Madman, we are here to answer all your questions to the best of our ability. Let's do the damn thing. All right, so here's let's kind of hit on this, Maze Man. I like to ask our guests a few questions so we can get familiar with your perspective on things and where we are in Michigan. So, who do you think is going to be QB1 on week one?
Oh, right out the gate with
Right out the
the
gate.
hot ones.
Yep,
Week one,
coming.
I'm gonna say Alex Orji week one.
Okay.
Um, yeah, I think he did enough in the spring. He looked pretty composed in the spring game, if you ask me. Uh,
Yeah.
and I know there were some questions. I know a lot of Buckeye fans have been talking about this, about like his completion percentage in high school and stuff like that. Wasn't the greatest.
Right.
Um, but he's been the backup, or the backup's backup even for a couple of years. I think he'll be okay. I think we start off with Alex Orji. I'm not sure how long that leash is though. I'm not sure how long it can be, honestly. But I think he is the starter week one.
Yeah, yeah. So you are with the rest of us at the Voice of College Football. We also think it's Alex Orji. There are some fans watching, especially my guy Keith, who is a Jack Tuttle supporter, and there's a few Davis Warren supporters out there. So we'll see. This is going to be the topic of the fall. I mean, I'm sure you're going to cover it on your channel. We're definitely going to cover it on our channel. Looking forward to seeing how that goes.
Right.
So, all right, then let me get your take. How you feeling about the season going into it? Um, how you feeling about Michigan? Like, give me a win prediction as well as your optimism for the season.
All right. So I'm pretty optimistic about the season. I know a lot of people are saying that this is a 3-4 loss team. I don't believe that. In fact, I think we get a strong test out the gate. Right, week two, welcome the Longhorns to the Big House, and I think a lot of people have written this off as a Texas win. I saw Paul Feinbaum, boo that guy anyway, but he basically said that this is a surefire win for Texas, and I'm not sure that it is at all. In fact, I like the Wolverines in this game. First of all, they're in the Big House where they haven't lost in a very long time. The second longest home win streak in Division One, I believe, or at least the Power Four now. Um, so I like Michigan in that game. I think another test, obviously, is Oregon coming to the Big House. I think that could be the only loss. Although I think Michigan's a lot bigger than Oregon up front, but we'll see. Um, and we'll see how that goes. I think maybe one loss is where I'm going.
Damn. All right.
Most two at the most. As
Yeah.
long as we win that game in late November, though, I'd be ecstatic. Like we could go one
Right.
and 11 and beat them.
Easy. Easy now. I hear you though. I hear you.
Right.
I hear you. Yeah,
Yeah.
let's get Ohio State. Let's get I mean shit. I'll tell you right now, if we did go one in you know, let's say we were 1-10 heading into that game,
Right.
and we beat Ryan Day. There's no way, there's no way the Buckeyes can make an excuse for that shit. But
Absolutely.
yeah, his ass better be packing. I mean, I'm hoping, we have a good year. I mean, I'm putting us at about 2 losses because I think our
Okay.
schedule's tough, and things can bite you. But I agree with you. Like, I feel good about Texas. I really do. QB situation is the biggest question. If our QB situation was settled, bro, I'd be a little egotistical about that game. I think I'd be like, all right, we're gonna let Texas know the deal. They're coming to the big house. We'll let them know the deal. But because of the QB situation, I'm a little cautious and a little mindful in my approach with that right now. And then Oregon, I agree with you. That's gonna be the toughest game next to Ohio State. I think USC, we're gonna have our way with that. I just don't think their defense is gonna be able to compete with us. And then the
I
rest of the
agree.
opponents we got, Michigan State's nobody. And then I think the rest of our matchup, and then our first week one game against Fresno State, their coach just stepped down, so that's going to be really interesting to see. It should be a good warm up for us, So
Yeah.
we'll see. We'll find out.
Yeah.
All
Fresno's
right,
a quality team to kick things off with.
it was. I mean, but they lost the coach, so I don't know, man.
Well, that's true too. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see how that goes. Yeah. So all right. So that's where we are with that. You heard it here. Maze Madman's calling one loss, and it's not Ohio State. So
One loss, not Ohio
yeah,
State. Right.
yeah, not Ohio State. They can take that. All right. So then I know you've been following recruiting pretty heavy. I've seen your videos. You've been on top of that shit. So, um, what's your thoughts on our recruiting in the last 3-4 months? And also looking forward, the future outlook.
Yeah, I mean, well, Michigan recruiting has been as hot as anybody, not named Oregon, I suppose, at this point, in the last like a month or so, 2 months. Um, and I like what they've done. Uh, the guy I just interviewed on my channel a couple days ago, Andrew Marsh,
Yeah.
last week, I guess.
Yeah.
He is a guy that I think that is a Michigan lean. I think Michigan does have a crystal ball in for him.
Yeah.
Um, and he is a game breaker type guy. I don't know if you've seen the
Oh
his
yeah.
game film,
Oh, I've seen it.
but
Yeah.
I'm very impressed. I'm
The
more
ball.
impressed with the person that he is, which I think fits Michigan very well as to boot. Um, but the recruiting, like I said, it's been on fire. Everybody, guys with Michigan channels have been, ecstatic, and the fans have reciprocated that with the views and things like that. So it's obvious that the recruiting has been doing well, and it's a quick turnaround too, right? He had to put together. I'm speaking on Sharon Moore here now.
Right. No.
Had
No.
to
Yeah.
put together a completely new defensive staff, right? And then had to deal with the early departure of his would-be, defensive line coach,
Right.
and replace him with who turned
Yes.
out to be a rock star, by the way, Lou
Yeah.
Esposito.
Big Lou.
Uh, yeah,
Oh yeah.
Lou is definitely at the top of the heap in terms of the recruiting right now for me. Um, I think Sharon Moore still, we'd probably be idiotic to say he's not got his hands in with that offensive line. He's still plugged in with the offensive line, even
Yeah.
though Grant Newsome is the offensive line coach. They've done well working together, and there could be a very big fish on the hook here for them in terms of that offensive line. I'm sure we'll talk about that
Yeah.
at
That's
some
nice.
point.
Yeah. Yeah. That's nice.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So that's massive. I don't know how true it is about the Derek Meadows thing and Michigan being the reason. Shout out to Toast, that's my guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sorry, um, Derek
No. Yeah.
Michigan being the reason that he, um, postponed his, commitment. That said, I'm not sure that Michigan's like in the lead or even in second place there, but at least they're in the conversation.
Exactly.
Um, they got
Yeah.
another 5-star in the 2025 class visiting for the barbecue at the big house,
Yeah.
Mr.
Miles.
Miles from Utah.
Yep.
So the outlook is very good. I was a guy that was hard on Ron Bellamy in recent years, but he's really bounced back. Hard pause, by the way. He's really bounced back in a major way this season, and even with some of the production that the wide receivers had last year. So I think we're in a good spot.
Yeah, definitely. I think I mean, listen, it's hilarious because John was like a week away from going in on Ron Bellamy in his recruiting efforts. And then he pulled Jacob Washington, and then Philip Wright was trending. Actually, he was a silent. We knew that in our circle because I let him.
Right.
Yeah, so he was, Philip Wright was a silent for a minute, man. I thought he
Yeah.
was going to, I was actually hitting our community. I was like, we might get one this week because I was getting worried that he might drop it any moment.
Yeah.
But he waited, and I was like, so I texted our guys, like I give him the heads up on things if I get some shit, and then like, John was like, so he was about to go all in on Ron Bellamy, and then, hey man, we're all writing letters to Ron Bellamy now because if he pulls Andrew Marsh like we all think he is,
Right.
and also, so I'll make this announcement, and so on the Tuesday show, we are also going to be doing an interview with Andrew Marsh on Tuesday, which is July, let's see, 23rd. So be there, get your popcorn. It should be a great interview. If you want to get another interview with Andrew Marsh, Maze Madman did an interview with Andrew Marsh last Friday, right?
Yeah. Last Friday, I do
Yeah,
think it was Friday. Yeah, for sure.
yeah, yep.
Great kid, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was gonna say, yeah, check that out if you guys are interested in that. Give our guy here, Maze Madman, a subscription or subscribe to his channel. Hook him up. He puts in work as well. Yeah, dude. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that interview. That should be fun. And yeah, so let's get to it, man. So, what are your thoughts on this Andrew Balboa situation? Did you see the announcement, or did you see what kind of released today?
That his decision for like August 12th, right?
Yep, August 12th. So he
August
didn't
12th
move
is
it up to
the
July,
D Day. Pause.
right?
Uh, but yeah, I'm excited, man. I think one of the things that I like about his recruitment is that Michigan stayed the course, right? When it was looking like, for whatever reason that Stanford was way out ahead, and that was
Yeah,
pretty much it. Michigan, stayed the course, and whatever the pitch has been here recently has really, seemed to work and take hold here. And like I was telling people on my channel for a while now, and I see you got like a lot of like super chats coming in. I'm sorry that I'm
yeah,
like
we're gonna hit
talking.
those. We're gonna hit those.
All
Everyone
right,
doing the
cool,
super chat, we got you. We're gonna hit those.
cool. All right. But yeah, so I was trying to reassure people on my channel, like, man, like Michigan has uh can offer so much, right? In terms of academics, it's not like they're
Right.
chop suey, especially in the public school realm, right? They're one or two all the
Yeah,
time.
yeah,
And obviously Stanford is Stanford in terms of academics. That's no knock at all. They are who they are. But with the football, if you combine the academics with the football, it's like Michigan by a country mile, in my opinion. Um, but I'm 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 not sure exactly, like I said, what it is that they did to switch this thing around, but I'm happy that they did. I'm happy that and I think the longer it goes, the better for Michigan in this case. And
I
and
think
I
the opposite.
Oh really?
Yeah, I think the opposite because so Michigan has actually been pushing for a quicker commitment. They wanted to land
Got
one
it.
in July. They wanted to land one in July. They want to
Right.
close now. So what is obviously they've been on top of Andrew Balboa. About 2-3 weeks ago, they did a virtual with him that was very like an aggressive pitch in the sense of like, look, path to playing time, development, basically letting him, be like, look, Stanford is like a 3-9 team. They don't develop like we do. They don't win like we do.
Of
Academically
course.
speaking, we can put you in the position after football. We are offering all these things. They went very aggressive with this pitch, especially playing time and path to playing time. Obviously, it needs to be earned. Nothing's guaranteed.
Yeah.
And they're like, it really, the word is it really hit on that virtual. Like they went really aggressive with it. This was around the same time they were trying to get Shamari Earls. They went aggressive with that. And then we'll hit on Meadows here because Nuber threw this question out, and everyone doing a super chat. Listen, I'm going to get to. I just wanted to hit this because we were talking about Meadows a second ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the Andrew Babaloa thing. Look, him moving into August 12th. That's not like I don't look at that like, oh, that's bad.
Yeah.
But it makes me unsure of the way he's leaning because if it was before July, I know that Michigan wanted to close before the end of July, so they had momentum going into barbecue weekend. And yeah, so it's August 12th. So I don't know. And I told our viewers if they watch the Tuesday show, I was like, look, if Andrew Babaloa moves up that date into July, I'll put a lock in. But because it's in August, I have to.
Right.
I'm in activation mode, bro. I just don't know right now. And I don't have the intel or the update on that either. I will say this though: if someone said, "Hey, make a prediction right now," I'm not locking. This is not a lock. But if someone said,
Yeah.
"Hey, you got to," I would say Michigan. I would.
Mm,
Okay, I would say I think we get it, but I'm not locking that in. That's just like if I had a gun to my head and I had to make a choice. But then let's all right. So isn't Derek Meadows heading to LSU? So there are people in the recruiting industry, insider world, who think he might go to Notre Dame. I think he's going to LSU. My contact says LSU, so I'm going with my guy. I don't have any other intel other than he says he's going to LSU, so I'm going to ride with that. He's been right. He's been accurate. That's who I get most of my shit from.
yeah.
And I do know, and I'm sure you know, Miz, that on Friday last week, he was going to be going to LSU. And Michigan,
Yep.
as you mentioned, is the one who made him second guess that decision. Notre Dame has also increased their NIL offer to him. Michigan, like you pointed out, Michigan is now, and we talked about this on our show for the last few months. I've told our viewers, Michigan doesn't want to be highest bidder. They are competitive. They have a
Hmm.
strong NIL philosophy. But I'm going to tell you, bro, in the last 2 weeks, they've been playing ball, bro. You know
Right.
what I mean? They're playing ball with these big time players, and I really think what woke them up a little bit is obviously I know they're I know Sharon's been on a donation campaign recently, hitting different cities, hitting the
Yep.
big whales. I know that. I'm aware of that. I don't know the figures at the moment. I don't have any intel on that. But what I can say is it does appear that when that Shamari Earls thing started trending in Georgia, Michigan started amping the heat up on some of these top targets, which is good to see. And it puts us in the race for Meadows, and it puts us in the race for Jerome Miles, who's going to be visiting on Barbecue at the Big House. So, yeah, so we'll see where Derek Meadows goes. If I had to call it, I would say LSU. Now let's hit some of these super chats. What is up, Justin? Maze Madman, get ready to rag on Notre Dame and Ryan.
Oh man, I'm not sure how familiar you guys are with Ryan, but I do some work on week zero as well. He's obviously a proprietor over there, and he's a heck of a personality on Twitter. And I don't know why he does it to himself, but he's a Notre Dame fan as well. Um, and yeah, he doesn't have great standing with a lot of fan bases.
Okay, all right, fair enough. All right, then our newest member, Maze Wolverines. Shout out to you, man. What's up, Maze Madman?
What's up, sir?
And then our boy Justin again, TJ and Maze. Did you see Mr. SEC Paul F. Feinbaum, obviously, rag on USC coach today? I didn't see it. Did you see that, Maze?
I didn't see him talk about USC today, no, but I probably will check it out. Paul's hilarious. He tried to discredit, well, not even necessarily discredit, but if for him, he thinks like Georgia's going to win like the next 5, 6 national
Right,
championships.
of
He said
course.
they would have won it a year ago. I
Right,
disagree, but to each their
right.
own.
Absolutely. All right, then we got another one from our guy Justin. Justin's always supporting the community. TJ and Mays Madman, could we land two more wide receivers, Andrew Marsh plus Jerome Miles or Derek Meadows? Would you want to add? Who would you want to add with Andrew Marsh? All right, that's a great question. And so Michigan's what they wanted to do was get three wide receivers. They wanted to get Jacob Washington, Philip Wright. They went after Philip Wright, which is why the Taz Williams recruitment kind of faded.
Hmm.
They were more focused on Philip Wright because they wanted that skill or that speed skill asset. Like it's so unique. It's very rare to get players that fast. And then obviously Andrew Marsh is a big dog. We know this. So they want that. That's their three. For players like Derek Meadows and Jerome Miles, they are willing to go to four because they're such elite talents. And
Right.
as we just discussed, Derek Meadows is kind of trending to LSU. But look, all it takes is a phone call. This is recruiting. And obviously, this is an NIL battle right now. Like, I'm not even bullshitting. Like, I don't even want to put, I don't want, that sounds like so like terrible and stuff. But like, listen, numbers are being thrown and, he's thinking on it. We'll just say
Right.
it how that, just is what it is. This is recruiting. And so Jerome Miles is the next target. We'll see where the Derek Meadows things go. He's making his decision on Saturday. We'll keep our ears to the ground on that. And then Jerome Miles. Now this kid's running like a 10.36. Did you like? Have you looked into Jerome Miles?
I
Man?
have. I think maybe he's a little faster even than Philip, right?
Yes, yes, he
Um,
is.
yeah. So I have been paying attention to Mr. Miles. The thing is, this one kind of came together fairly recently in terms of like uh Michigan's publicly anyway, right? I think Michigan had been behind the scenes when he decommitted from Ole Miss. It came out, or where he decommitted from somewhere. It may
Yeah,
not have
Ole
been.
Miss, Ole Miss.
It
It
was
was
Ole
Ole
Miss,
Miss.
yeah.
Yeah,
It came out that Michigan was like in the running for his services there. But I am impressed with this kid.
yes.
Uh, and I would take him. I forget his measurables.
6'3",
Um,
215. He runs a
yeah,
10.36 100
that's
meter.
kind of
He's
crazy.
fast as
6'3",
fuck,
running
right?
that fast.
He's a true X wide receiver. This kid's a freak, and I'm going to tell you, like we all love Philip Wright's film. This kid's film's nasty too. I'm
Right,
telling you, if Michigan can pull this off, man. Holy shit, bro!
right.
Like this, like
What,
Jerome Miles, Andrew Marsh, Philip Wright, Jacob Washington. That haul is that's legit, man. Like and with Andrew Olish, come on, bro.
absolutely.
Come on, bro.
We're
Yeah,
talking. It's gonna be real freaky if they're able to get one
that
or Marsh. Like I said, I think
Marsh
is
is looking good. We'll
coming to
say that
Michigan.
Marsh is looking good. Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah.
And if they're able to get one of these 5-star receivers we're talking about now, it's going to look really, really crazy out there, and something different for Michigan, at least in recent years.
Absolutely. Yeah. And
Although
like that, yeah,
you go
okay.
back to like the DPJ Black, Tariq Black,
Right. Yes.
those that was an elite haul too.
Yes, it
Um,
was.
but I won't even get into, because I am a person who does not and was never a fan of oh
DPJ,
my god. Huh?
Nico Collins.
No, no, no. The quarterback,
Oh,
the transfer.
Shea Patterson.
Yeah, Shea Patterson. I despise Shea Patterson, and I know
Okay.
that some
Well,
Michigan
are you
fans love
mad? Are
Shea.
you mad? He like playing. He like to play golf. Is that your issue with him, bro?
No, no. My
No.
I had no problem with him playing golf. It
Right.
was more about the product on the field. And I
Yeah.
know despise is strong, and I don't. Maybe it wasn't necessarily that strong, but he bothered me sometimes.
Yeah. No, I understand. I think we all got a little frustrated, but part of me wonders how much was a Josh Gaddis issue
That
because
is fair.
that scheme, that speed and space bullshit.
Yeah,
Um, because
especially with that group.
well,
It
we
made
had
no
the
sense.
athletes though.
Yeah,
We had Donovan Peoples Jones was like he's not slow. Tariq
right.
Black, Nico Collins, Tariq Black was going through foot injuries, but still, like we had players, bro. Like
Yeah,
I don't know, man. I don't know, dude. Like that was just a
yeah.
bad situation. And like what's crazy too, have you ever watched Shea Patterson's like freshman year at Ole Miss? Bro, he looks special.
He
He
was
looks
very
special.
good.
Dude.
Very.
Yeah,
I
he
was
looks.
so excited when he came to Michigan, by the
Yeah,
way.
yeah, he
Yeah,
looks. I know. I don't know. As I used to like, I would after like a year at Michigan, I looked back at his Ole Miss highlights, and I'm like, why don't we have this quarterback? What is going on?
yeah.
But all right, we got another super chat here, Cody Mumford. If we pull a Miles Meadows or a Marsh Meadows or some combination, does that reopen the door for Underwood or another big time QB in the class? That's an interesting ass question. I'll say this. I don't think. All right. All right. I know they're happy with Carter Smith, and I know they're very happy with Brady Hart, especially
Right,
2020. Like Trevor
right,
Lawrence Jr., what we call him. Yeah, I think if you do land those weapons, and we all are aware that Michigan's NIL game is no joke right now. They're at least competitive. They're playing ball.
right.
I'll simply say I don't think I'd rule it out. I wouldn't
Um,
rule it. I wouldn't rule.
for the
I'm not giving you
Underwood,
hope. Up. I'm not giving you. I don't want to give anyone's
of
hopes up.
course,
Like
right.
going after them. I don't have any intel on that either. I'm just saying like I could. You don't close doors.
Yep, yep. I'm in line with what you're saying too. Uh, yeah, I'd be, if they were able to pull off a combination of Miles and Marsh, or Meadows and Marsh, or somehow if God saw fit to give us all three, it would be very hard for somebody like Underwood or any elite quarterback not to give Michigan a second look.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, especially an elite talent like that. Now we'll see though. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if I don't even know if it's possible, to be honest with you. I don't know how locked in. I know Underwood really likes LSU, and I know Michigan has their quarterback not only for the 25 class but for the 26 class, and they're working on the 27 class with Trey Taylor, who is looking. I would say, I mean, that looks like a good situation for Michigan. He will be at barbecue at the Big House. We'll be covering that next week on Tuesday's show. Yeah, so we'll see. I mean, that's a great question though. That's something to monitor. I'll tell you this: if LSU has a bad year, you never know.
Yeah,
And we have a
that's
good
fair.
year. That's the type of shit that makes people change decisions. So, all right, Maze man, let's get to so as we know on the channel, we have this thing called a Kenneth Grant tracker. I wanna so anyone who's new to the channel, who's watching it for the first time, we have a Kenneth Grant tracker that I'm gonna bring to the stage, and this is where we are right now. We are 710 subscribers away from catching OSU. So if you are watching the show and you are not subscribed, please subscribe to the channel. We are making serious progress. We're only 710 away from OSU. They are the second largest channel in the network. We all know that's unacceptable. They should never beat us in anything. There's a reason why Michigan's above Ohio on the map. That's not a coincidence. And we all agree that Ohio State shouldn't beat us at anything, even if it's Uno. That's unacceptable. So we play to
Right.
win, and we're playing to win on this channel. We cannot let Ohio State be above us. I don't care if their channel was created 2 years before ours. It means nothing. We're playing to win. So anyone who's unsubscribed, help us out. Help us get closer to our goal, and we greatly appreciate that. And then I
Absolutely.
also, yeah, go on.
Definitely can't wait for you guys to surpass that channel and for Kenneth Grant to be able to
Catch
lay
them.
the smack down on that professional third baseman, um,
Absolutely.
and Ryan Day.
Absolutely. Yeah, he needs a, especially the way he was disrespecting Lou Holtz, he needs a good, lesson. I think Ken Grant
Right,
needs to teach him what the deal is, respect your elders. But
man.
yeah, so hell yeah. But all right, shout out to everyone who gave us a super chat. Greatly appreciate everyone contributing to the channel. It means a lot to us. It means a lot to me. It means a lot to John. It means a lot to Mark. Um, appreciate everyone in the community. But all right, we don't have any callers, Maze man. So what we're gonna do right now is we're gonna hit the next topic, which is have you played college football 25?
Of course.
You have?
And by the
All
way,
right, I got questions for you, man, because I get my game tomorrow.
okay.
All right,
Um,
so tell
good.
me your experience and tell me what path you're going. Are you going? Are you doing the dynasty with a coach? Are you doing road to glory? What is your path right now?
Yeah. So right now I'm doing Road to Glory. I've created a quarterback who plays for Michigan, by the way.
Okay,
Um, and I'm actually, man, I'm about to play the Big Ten championship game against Oregon, um, who I already beat during the season. I
okay.
have one loss to Texas, by the way.
Oh, the
Uh,
best.
right. One loss to
Yeah,
Texas, but about to play the Big Ten championship game against Oregon. It's very fun. I love this game, by the way. I've played some what is it, Road to the College Football Playoff
yeah.
online. Smacked a couple people around. The last guy I played though, man, I was up early, like 14-0, returned to pick six with Will Johnson. After that, it was downhill. Uh, and I got beat pretty handedly. So I cut the game off, went to bed. But I've put a lot of hours in. I've neglected the channel actually with putting the hours in on this video game. That's how much I've been playing.
Yeah, that's my concern with it. Like, I gotta find a balance with the show, the network, and the game. I gotta because I'll be honest, I want to do dynasty with a coach. I think I'm gonna go the offensive coordinator route, but I think
Right,
I'm gonna start out like at a small school and work my way up. But I know it's gonna take me like seasons, years, years
right.
to get. Eventually, I want to be, heading Michigan and running that shit. But from the research I've been doing, that might take like 5 seasons. I don't know. That like people are saying you got to build your way up. It's not like an easy climb unless you like force your guy there or something.
Right.
I think there's a way to do that. I'm not sure yet. I'll find out tomorrow. But I think like you can either like start out organically or you can like place him somewhere and then you just get like a head start. I don't know. We'll find out. But and then I also want to do Road to Glory. I've done Road to Glory every NCAA. I can't stop now.
Right.
I got to get a Heisman from Michigan, and or like I'll see how it goes. I'm not like, so when you do Road to Glory, do you pick your school, or are you just offered scholarships, or how's that work?
Um, man, how did that work? I was offered scholarships, yeah, and then
Okay,
I chose from there. Um,
okay,
one of the things too that's really cool about the Road to Glory, and I don't want to give too much away for people who haven't gotten the game yet,
yeah,
but
yeah, me,
yeah, it's really cool. Like week to week, you have to really watch what you're doing in terms of what you allocate to marketing for NIL opportunities. And obviously studying for exams and things like that is pretty cool.
Oh damn, they make
The
you
way
play
they,
school, bro.
yeah, man, they got you
Oh,
playing school. You're not
terrible.
actually taking tests yourself, but
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, you got to also manage your health week to week,
Really? Okay,
right? Yeah,
that's
so
cool.
it's pretty intuitive.
All right, so no keggers. Got it. All right, good deal. Yeah, that seems like a lot of fun. But all right, let's hit these super chats and we'll take our first caller.
All right,
Justin coming through again. My guy Justin, thank you. Appreciate you, bro, for supporting the channel. You are the man. If we land 4 wide receivers and we only keep Carter Smith's ability to run the ball plus throw on the run could open the pass game. Yeah, I mean, I'll give my take first, you Maze Man, and you can give your take. But I mean, Carter Smith, look, he won Gatorade Player of the Year for Florida. He's an extremely good athlete. He's a dangerous player. For him, the next step for him, and we'll cover this. So, Maze Man, I don't know if you know this, but I'm going to have a segment during the regular season called the Future Blue Stock Report, where we are going to follow all the committed players week to week. The ones who are making, you know, good performances, even bad performances. We'll cover it
right,
all. But I don't know if I'm able to hit 25 every show, but you know what I mean. I'll pick and choose what recruits we follow,
right.
and week to week it'll be different every week. And then he is one we're going to be watching because uh, if he can get his mechanics down, he can polish his mechanics, he can improve that. He's a Heisman caliber player. That's the type
Oh
of
yeah,
dynamic player Carter Smith can be. He just
I
has to
agree.
get his mechanics down with his throwing. He's dangerous. There's a reason why the rating services are so high on him.
Hmm.
So yeah, he's definitely a player we're going to be watching closely, and we'll see what he can do. What do you think, Maze?
I agree. I think he is, like you said, Gatorade Player of the Year in Florida,
Right,
which
big time. That's
is
big time. That's
crazy.
serious. Right. That's
Yeah,
it
yeah,
as a junior.
yeah. So
Not
that's
normal.
super impressive. By
Yeah,
the
that's
way,
not normal.
that gives Michigan now back-to-back Gatorade Player of the Year at that position in their respective states in the
Right.
respective years. With Jaden Davis, you throw him in there, who I think won it 2 years in a row.
Yep. I think
I
so.
believe. But Carter Smith and those receivers, like you said, would be very dangerous, and it would open up the pass game a lot. I like Carter Smith's confidence too. And it was him really that got the ball rolling for Michigan in terms of Brady Hart. At least he gave a big assist in that Brady Hart recruitment.
Right.
So and that's a guy who I think is probably going to end up being a 5-star at some point
Agreed.
uh, in the near future. So I like Carter Smith a lot, and I think he'd be dangerous either way. And with these receivers, he'd be very special.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think having Jaden Davis, then Carter Smith, then Brady Hart, and Brady Hart is locked in recruiting heavy right now. He's going to be at the barbecue at the big house next weekend. Yeah, we are in a good situation for the QB room. It's healthy, and that's also what makes me so optimistic about the future of recruiting for Michigan is because the most important position is locked up for the
Yep.
next 5 years.
Yep.
You know what I mean? We're good. Like that's all right. We'll take that. All right, one more super chat. Cody Mumford, this one's a shout out to you, Maze Madman. Love your show, Maze. Madman, I listen to you at work all the time. Makes doing computer work 100% easier. I bet it does, bro. I bet it does.
Shout out to that.
I've
I'm
been there.
upset. That's good, man. I appreciate all the support. I see a lot of familiar names in the chat, man. I saw my guy Kinetic, by the way. I've seen your chats here. I am actually going to be in a dynasty league with him. So shout out to that, man.
Hell yeah. Yeah. Oh, that's dope, dude. Yeah. No, I mean, listen, man, Michigan has a great community. It's good to see the cross pollination, I guess you could call it, of the different shows and the fans of the different
Absolutely.
shows. And that's really what it's about, man. Like we talk about it here. And Keith, we're gonna get to you next. I know you're waiting on the line right now. Being able to give you guys content while you guys are grinding through the week, bro. Like we understand. Like I mean, I've been there, doing all that, and that's what we're here for, bro. Like we do this monthly hangout, and we had some, members let us know, like, because they're so busy during the week, they appreciate our show because it keeps them up to date, and they, because they can't stay on top of every single thing. There's so much going on. So that's the goal. I'm sure Maze Madman agrees. We're just trying to give you guys a bunch of entertainment and distract you from the, the day-to-day bullshit and help you get through the week and make it to Friday. So that's the deal. All right, Maze. So let's take our first caller. It's my guy, the leader of the Jack Tuttle fan club. What is up, Keith?
Hey guys, how's it going?
It's going good, man. How you doing?
Doing pretty well.
Yeah, going good. I have another Tuttle scoop. This apparently came from right inside the practice facility. I can't remember who it was. This was about 10, 12 days ago. They said Tuttle is picking up the playbook like they haven't seen in years.
Ooh.
So what I read that is he's really good at the progressions. He can find his third, fourth, and fifth receivers better than they've seen in a while. It sounds like that's maybe even better than JJ and Cade.
Yeah, well, all right. So I haven't heard that yet, but I'm not gonna say you're wrong. I will say this though, Keith, that you're probably gonna like that I don't like. Chris Ballas feels there might be a dual quarterback approach to week one with Jack Tuttle and Alex Orji. So I mean, you might be right.
It might have been Ballas that I heard say that. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it might. All right, maybe. Yeah. So that's apparently there's talk that might be the case. But how I look at it is this: fall camp hasn't even started yet. We won't know until the first week into August. It usually starts the week after the first week of August. So we'll find out. I mean, until these guys get on, begin the camp and begin battling. I mean, it's all talk right now. We don't really know. But it will be interesting. And I do know if Jack Tuttle does win the battle, Keith, you're definitely calling in, and I got to give you your flowers then, huh?
Yeah. I just like I say is that I saw Tuttle when he was a freshman at Indiana, and he showed moments of brilliance, but he was pretty inconsistent. I mean, he'd have a good game and he'd have a couple bad games. And he wasn't in there very long before he got hurt, and then Penix came in. And Tuttle was Wally pipped when Penix took over.
Yeah. So Maze, what's your thoughts on the Jack Tuttle debate right now?
Yeah. So I remember Tuttle at Indiana as well. I know he has a lot of people who think he should be the starting quarterback. I've seen those people on my channel too. Davis Warren has a good group too. So it really is. I think Michigan's in a favorable position, really, to be able to have three guys that could potentially be QB1. And I agree with you that we won't really know anything until that fall camp starts and we can get all three of these guys out there tossing around the ball and see see how it falls out.
Yeah. I agree.
Yeah, I told TJ this before, Eminem, that I think we have 5 good quarterbacks that could all lead us to 9 or 10 wins. It's just going to be hard on Sharon to pick which one rises to the top.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. We'll see. I think a lot of us are very cautious. I don't know. I'm a little like, if Jack Tuttle's QB1, I'm concerned. I'll be honest. But hey, I want to be wrong. I want to be wrong. I don't want to. That's one of those. I don't want to be right. Like prove me wrong. That's fine. I'll take an L and I'll take it gladly. Yeah, I just my concern is simply if Jack Tuttle's the quarterback, the offense is limited, and not only that, the ceiling of the season's limited. Like For example, when Cade McNamara was the quarterback, we all know, sure, he got us a Big Ten title and we made it to the playoff.
Mhm.
But then what happened, right? We couldn't compete. We weren't on the elite status. With an Alex Georgia, you have a higher ceiling. With a Davis Warren, you have a higher ceiling. We'll see, though. I mean, it's what makes the debate so good because each one does have pros and cons. I mean, Jack Tuttle does have value because he's experienced. He's the veteran. He's the savvy veteran, and he probably can keep a play alive, because he's seen it before. But I mean, it's just what is the playbook then becomes limited, So I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see. I'm hoping for the best though, like most of the commenters in the comments right now.
I'm with TJ.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have a question for you, TJ. And you, Eminem, too, because you guys focus on recruiting much more than I do. I saw Brady Hart, our 26th guy.
Yep.
On 3, he was the number 10 quarterback, but on Rivals, he was the number 2 quarterback.
Yeah.
And what the heck is the difference in that? How do they get so far apart?
Yeah, no, that's a great question. So what happens, unfortunately, because it's a 2026, they're not really as focused on that class. So the evaluations are way out of sync. They're not properly dialed in. They'll get more accurate probably by November next year. So November next year is when it gets real accurate. They'll start scouting these kids a little more, in depthly. They'll be watching more of the game film. They're really focused on 2025 right now, and there's only so many evaluators. So to be honest, a lot of these evaluation services, they get lazy with these classes that are in the future, which I guess is understandable. They're essentially just putting them in rankings and being like, okay, well, they're kind of here and kind of there, but they're not putting as much time and attention as the 2025 class. Plus, I'll say this. I believe he's a top 3 quarterback in the nation. And I do, like Maze Madman, agree. This kid's a 5-star caliber quarterback. And I feel extremely confident saying by the time he signs on National Signing Day, he will be a 5-star quarterback. What do you think, Maze?
Yeah, I agree 1,000% with everything you said. And even from service to service, right? The evaluations, even in the 25-year, can be, very different. But in this case, I'm with you. It is a year out. They'll hone in on those guys a little more. And I am a firm believer that when it's all said and done, Brady Hart will be a 5-star quarterback, and maybe even the best quarterback in that class.
Yeah, I think that's, yeah.
And I heard when he went to the Elite 11 camp, he got MVP. Now, they didn't say that was number 1 quarterback, but he got MVP. I just don't know if that's a lesser award there, or are you guys familiar with the award?
Like a day or 2, right?
He won day 2. He got MVP for day 2. He didn't win MVP for the total event, but he won MVP for day 2. But those are also like sometimes a little sketchy. Also, I mean, I remember when JJ McCarthy did the Elite 11, he got. And when Jaden Davis did the Elite 11 last year, Jaden Davis completely crushed the live portion, crushed it. Most accurate, most touchdowns, least interceptions, and he still was ranked like 7th or 8th best. Like, the problem with a lot of these camps is they're rating their mechanics and things like that, but they're also looking at these kids like the athlete, and they're like, oh, well, they're projected. Again, it's like the rankings. They're projecting these kids instead of like what they're seeing in front of them. And like, so you got to take some of these rankings with a grain of salt. Like, obviously, it's not nothing. It's just a barometer. It's a tool that is used to evaluate these kids. But like at the end of the day, and we all know this as Michigan fans. So we have 3 stars that play like 5 stars, right? We have, so that's why I tell our community is, I'm like, watch the film, decide for yourselves. That's why we do the breakdown so we can give people a look at what we're doing or what I'm looking at in these players. But Brady Hart's legit. He's only going to get better too. Like, that's the thing about it. He's a sophomore right now, or he was a sophomore last year.
Mm-hmm.
What you're seeing tape now is like he's about to get so much better by the time he steps on campus in Michigan. And Keith, one more because our lines are starting to fill up, so I want to get to the next guys.
Okay, good enough. I just make one quick final point. I think it was Heifel or whatever, the coach from Tennessee, was talking about how together they were, and they're playing for each other. And whenever I hear that talk, I think about Team 144. And except we didn't talk about it as much, but we demonstrated it. And the interesting thing about that is in all this togetherness and teamwork and leadership, I don't hear our nemesis, the Buckeyes, talk mentioned too much.
What do you mean?
Maybe they haven't learned that it's not 11 individuals on the team, but rather a team.
Yeah, I mean, nowadays I'll let you hit it.
This is right up my alley. I love talking about the other state and their lack of togetherness, if you will. So I agree, Keith. That is not something you hear a lot from these guys. They do have a lot of sports cars out there, particularly at the wide receiver position, and all you hear about is those individuals. I can't tell you how much it was like ad nauseum I heard of this JJ kid, this Jeremiah Smith kid during spring ball, and how awesome he was going to be, and how he's going to be better than Marvin Harrison Jr. And all of this. It does seem a little more individualistic for those guys that root for the other state and for that university period in terms of the football. And I agree. Team 144 went out and demonstrated what it is to be a complete team. And to TJ's point, to what they do in development is really the difference, right? Because they don't just get 5-star week after week and throw him on the field and hope that, you know, his star rating does the job for them.
Yeah. All right, Keith. Yeah, so hopefully we hit on that for you. Any parting words before we let you go, man?
No, I love the show, TJ. I look forward to it every week I can make it.
Hell yeah, Keith. Hey, I appreciate you calling in, man, really. And
Great.
that Jack Tuttle camp battle is gonna be picking up, so I'm looking forward to your calls during fall camp, and we can figure out where the QB1 position's going. All right.
Go blue, baby.
Go blue.
Yeah, Keith's a good guy, man. I like Keith. Keith's a good dude. All right, we got another super chat. Justin, Jack Tuttle is injury prone. I mean, it's a concern. You know, it's a concern, but the good news is we do seem to have a pretty solid quarterback room right now. So if that is the case, you know, hopefully, you know, the boys are ready for it.
Hopefully that doesn't matter anyway, but yeah.
Yeah, right. I agree. All right, let's get my guy Juju up here. What's up, bro?
Yo, what's good? What's good? How y'all doing?
Hey, man, living, bro. What's up with you?
Juju. What's good, brother?
Yeah. Listen, I just got at you on Twitter today, man. I just got at you on Twitter. I just found your shit.
Absolutely.
I want to touch on two things. First being a little bit of recruiting, and then I'm gonna tap into the quarterback battle. And first being recruiting. I told myself I wasn't gonna, judge these coaches to the 26th cycle and everything. And I'm I'm growing concerned a little bit with Coach BJ right now. Coach BJ is not like our targets. It's more like the lack of urgency about that room right now. I mean, Archie, we would have had Archie if it wasn't for the last coaching cycle. We kind of cooled off on him. Then everything happened and shit got mixed up a little bit. Boateng, I know a lot of people feel optimistic. I'm not so sure about it. It's going to take it way into the fall to me. To me, it's too much of a risk. Like cornerback and linebacker are two spots we cannot afford right now to be just bullshitting around. We're thin. I mean, we're young in the linebacker room, and next year we're gonna go to the portal. If we don't land Boateng, we're going to the portal. I don't see any way around it. We got Jimmy Roller and we got Cole Sullivan. They're gonna be. I mean, other than that, I mean, young. I think Hood is gone out of this year if I'm right. But I want to get you guys' thoughts on that, Coach BJ. I know he's a great developer, but right now, like, I'm not really seeing it through.
Yeah, what do you got on that, Maze?
So we know that he was with Michigan during the COVID year, right? That didn't end well. With he and Coach Harbaugh, I believe. And Sharon Moore and him have a relationship that goes back, I believe, to when Sharon Moore was like an assistant coach somewhere else, maybe a graduate, something like that. But yeah, I'm with you, Juju. I think it is cause to pause here. It is a little reason for concern. We haven't closed the door on some of these guys. What would happen to the guy from Miami, right? There was a lot of
Yeah.
flirtation going on,
Yeah, Elijah
right?
Melendez.
Melendez,
Yeah.
right? There was a lot of flirtation going on. There was a lot of talk about Michigan being able to pull him away from the Hurricanes. That seems to have dissipated, right?
I think he baited though. I think he was NIL baiting though. To be
Yeah,
honest with you.
That could be the case. And if that was the
Pump
case, then
faking.
BJ didn't see through that, which is another cause for
Yeah.
concern. The Boateng thing, I was really excited about Boateng immediately following the visit, right? And if he was in the market to commit that week or the following week, I would have thought Michigan was the destination. But as this has played out, he's trying to take 2 more official visits to 2 other schools. His brother has that legacy with Notre Dame, who I think is now the favorite again. So yeah, I mean, it is some cause to be concerned about BJ, but I'm gonna give him a chance here.
Yeah, no, I agree. So like, look, the issue. I mean, it's not really an issue, but like all the other coaches are killing it right now. Like everyone's doing the damn thing. Like everybody. I mean, Grant Newsom's got to kind of pick it up, but Caden Strayhorn and then Avery Gash is also good gets. So every coach really is. Lamar Morgan has the 2 safeties, the 2 top 100 safeties.
Crazy.
They're all putting in work right now. Yeah, they're all putting in work. It's just Brian Jean-Marie. And listen, I love Chase Taylor. I'm a big fan of Chase Taylor, but the way they handled the Kamari Archie situation is that's bad luck, man. Like that's a bad look. And then he wasn't the only player that got that treatment where they went through that evaluation period and they cooled off on a lot of guys. But because of that, we lost that recruitment. He wanted to come to Michigan. We were the leader. Brian Jean-Marie, unfortunately, because here's the thing about Brian Jean-Marie, for anyone who doesn't know, Juju, you may be aware, Maze Madman, you may be aware. Brian Jean-Marie is an elite recruiter in his previous spots, Tennessee, even at Michigan, he had a great class. And then when he was at Texas and then Louisville prior to that, he's always been a strong recruiter. He used to be a director of recruiter at Texas. Like this dude's a big time recruiter. He has a lot of connections. But I think he came to Michigan thinking he was going to land some major class, and he slow played some lower ranked recruits. And unfortunately, what happens is you lose out. Especially because he just joined Michigan in March, so the relationships were not built. So I listen. We'll see if they can pull Boateng. That recruitment's going to be a long one. He's probably not going to decide. So he says October. I've seen November. I've even seen him say National Signing Day, which is December.
Yeah,
like December 4th or something. So we're just in for the ride on that one. Maybe they could get a kid to flip. Because that's the thing too is we got to pay attention to schools that underperform this year. Coaches are going to get fired. There will be opportunity. So we'll find out if he can make it happen, man. But I listen. Every coach does deserve another cycle because they got such a late start. But I agree. I mean, out of all the coaches, he's the one who's got the spotlight right now.
Yeah, I mean, I just think that this ain't the tight end room, baby. I mean, we got to pick that up. We can't afford to go in like all in on just one person. We got to open up that room. I mean, like we're stacked at tight end. We ain't got to worry about that. But yeah, just a little cause for concern. I do know that he is the lead recruiter back in his past time. He did also get Junior Colson as well. Shout out to him for that.
Almost got Brandon Jennings, got Jaden Hood.
It does raise even more concern that him and Harbaugh didn't see eye to eye, and that's I don't know. Harbaugh's such a happy-go-lucky person, so I don't know if y'all have any information about that. I did not. I don't know why they parted ways.
Wait, between Brian John, I know how that went down. You're talking about when Brian. You're talking about. I just want to clarify before I walk on it. You're talking about how Brian Jean-Marie left to go to Tennessee.
Yeah, I was very I know he blew the whole spot Like he canned basically everybody in that 2020 season. But
Yeah, all right.
yeah, I didn't
So,
understand that.
Maze, do you know how that went down? Because I do know how that went down, but I don't know if you got any perspective on it.
I remember vaguely like about like some disagreements, like even during the season, between he and I believe Jim. But I'm not. I'm sure you have more information than me on that.
Yeah. So, all right, what went down was, as we know, 2020 season was a bad year. We all know, and he cleaned house, right? So, when he went and got Mike McDonald wanted a linebacker coach who knew the system already. So Brian Jean-Marie was still under contract. Brian Jean-Marie was aware of this. They were looking at a linebacker coach out of Florida. I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but he was already familiar with the system. He was formerly of Baltimore Ravens, one of those transplants from Baltimore to college. He was aware, so that was their target. When that happened, Brian Jean-Marie felt some kind of way. You know what I mean? He was like, all right, you're looking to replace me. It didn't work out. So they didn't get that guy. This is also when Urban Meyer was in Jacksonville. If anyone remembers, he was doing the Jacksonville Jaguars thing. So Urban Meyer tried to poach Brian Jean-Marie, but Brian Jean-Marie had a buyout, and Michigan was not willing to lower the buyout number, so he couldn't go to Jacksonville. So what happened is he then found another way out, and he went to Tennessee. Brian Jean-Marie made some connections, and because you don't stay where you're not wanted, right? So that's kind of how he felt.
For sure.
So that was kind of how it went down. Jim Harbaugh, and like, look, it worked out. We got a national title. We got 3 Big Ten championships. Jim Harbaugh was like, look, I got to change shit around here. I got to get the right system in. I got to get the right guys in. And, look, I mean, we got Chris Partridge. Chris Partridge did well.
Yeah, he did.
And then all the changes they did, it worked out. So, I mean, it is what it is. And look, obviously bridges weren't burned because he came back, right? So that's kind of how the whole dynamic went down after the 2020 season.
Yeah, I didn't know that. So that's good information. Yeah, it's pretty much with
George
that.
Hilo. Yeah. George Hilo. Yeah, that's who we hired. George Hilo. That was actually a bad hire. But
it was.
Yeah, George Hilo. Yeah, then he Benedict Arnold's our ass and goes to Alabama during the bowl prep. Son of a
yeah, I do remember reading on there. Oh yeah. Yeah, I do remember reading on that. But yeah, that's pretty much it for recruiting.
We got coaches last year, so that's on me. My bad. You're right. Shout out to Nevada Buck, my guy.
Yeah, it's unfortunate him leaving.
But, bro, I don't know. I don't even know. I don't even think we've discussed that on the channel.
I don't know what happened. I think he died. I don't even know. I heard like he destroyed property, something like that. I don't even know.
There's all right. So this was during the NCAA investigations. There was a player who the NCAA did interviews with the players, and one of the players, he said Chris Partridge kind of told him what to say in the interview, not to talk, blah, blah, blah. And that got him fired. But apparently the truth of the story is apparently Chris Partridge was just like, look, if you don't know anything, just say you don't know.
Right.
Like that. And apparently, I don't know, the kid fucking snitched. I mean, straight up snitched on Chris Partridge, man. Keep your mouth shut. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's so because of that, and because the heat was so hot on the program, the administration made that move. Jim Harbaugh was against it. He didn't like that. He did not want Chris Partridge to get fired. So yeah, that was another straw that broke the camel's back for Jim Harbaugh leaving. One of the many. We all know, and there's viewers watching, he wanted to go to the NFL. Yes, he did, but there was many things that made the decision easier. Let's put it that way.
Ward manual.
Yeah, that's a big one. And like anyone who wants to deny it, we're getting it from their own words, bro. Like, come on. Anyways,
his days are number 2. I can't wait to get him up out of here. NIL is finna go up to me.
Well, I'll say this: I'm happy with. All right, look, I'm not the biggest Ward supporter either, but hey, NIL is good. I like Dusty May. Sharon, I think, is a good hire. Hey, we'll see what happens. You know what
Sean
I mean?
Maggie Sean McGee or whatever. Sean, is it Maggie or McGee?
Yeah, Sean McGee. Yeah, getting Sean McGee to head the NIL for Michigan, or not head the NIL, but the general manager for Michigan, because Jerry Wagner heads the NIL for Michigan, but for Champion Circle. But yeah, I mean, listen, they got it in a good spot. Like so.
We're cooking.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm kind of like, all right, dude, you're doing your thing. Like, I'll just, I'm not happy with how things were handled in the past, but whatever. We'll keep it moving.
Yeah,
Like,
that's about it for the recruiting side of it. Now I want to get into probably the most controversial topic, which is the quarterback room. And Keith got in here before me, and I didn't even know that he was a big Jack Tuttle guy. But I'm gonna get into this. Yeah, obviously, to me is oh my god, I want to make this clear for everyone before I start. I want Alex Orji to win this job. I think he has the highest ceiling out of everyone with that athleticism. TJ, I went back. I watched his film at Indiana, some of his all 22s.
yeah.
And he has shown that he can hit that 60%. Granted, it is a smaller sample size, but he has the most starting experience out of everyone. Look, this is strictly schematic. I went back, watched all 22s. Like, I understand the game past the stat sheet and past watching on TV. I know a lot of people may not, but I do. The biggest tell, yeah, I went back and watched that Texas Bama game. Oh my God. It is making me so scared for Alex Orji. Man, they manned the shit out of Bama. They manned them the hell up. And as soon as Bama thought that they caught Texas, they went cover 2. They switched up to cover 3. They ran into some Tampa 2. They confused the shit. And that is what concerns me for Alex Orji. Granted, I think our offensive coordinator in our group is a lot better and our scheme is a lot better. But that was so telling to me because Alex Orji is a spitting image of Jalen Milroe, maybe a little bit less of a passer, but we just don't know. And the last thing I'm gonna touch on before I get y'all opinion. What was real telling to me last year is Alex Orji wasn't even the second quarterback to come off the bench. Like Jack Tuttle and Jaden Denigal came off before he did. Yeah, before he got some run. Yeah, before he got some run, and obviously put him in there to spell JJ, but he never threw a pass to me, and that to me was a little bit concerning. I know it wasn't set up for him sometimes, and he's a hell of a runner, but he's only thrown 3 career passes. I just want to reiterate one more time. I am on the Alex Orji hype train. I want him to win this job. I'm just being very objective because I understand the game. Yeah, and I think right now, if I gotta call it, Jack Tuttle being hurt and coming in right away, and basically in that heat of that battle, it's very telling to me. And he does bring athleticism too. Don't get it twisted. Like he can run. He's not Alex Orji, but he can run. But right now, man, bro, I'm leaning Tuttle for that week 2 battle. But I'll get your guys' thoughts.
I mean, I think I'm gonna let Madman hit this, but I will simply say I think it's fair to have the approach you have, dog, because I mean we're in a position. Actually, never mind. I was like, I'm gonna let Madman hit this, but I started going off. What do you think, man?
Yeah. So I want to preface this because
I feel like
Jack Tuttle is not a bad player, and I think Keith brought up his experience, and think TJ might have even mentioned his experience, coming from Indiana and things like that. That said, I think what gives me the most pause with Alex Orji is Joe, and how that played out, and how bad he was in 2020.
Yeah.
Obviously he went to Tennessee and had a decent season, I suppose. Joe Milton. I'm sorry. Yeah, Joe Milton is who I'm talking about for those because I didn't mention his last name.
Players, man.
Yeah,
they are different players. They are different players. However, physically, they are similar, right? In terms of
but Orji's way faster than fucking Milton, bro. Milton was like a
that's
damn
fair.
boss.
Yeah. He's way
that's
faster.
Fair. And Milton might have a bigger arm even, but I do. I am riding the Alex Orji hype train with you to some degree, and I do think he gives Michigan the best chance to win, even against Texas. and I see what you're talking about. They did man up Alabama and then confuse Milroe with some zone at times. However, that I don't know why Milroe wasn't able to take advantage of that secondary. They weren't exactly world beaters, even if they were, playing man or zone. And I do think, like you said, our offensive the offensive coordinator Kirk Campbell, in a combination with Sharon Moore, should be able to pretty well scheme that up. So I think he does give us the best chance to win, though.
Yeah. What was I gonna say? The thing that worries me is is Milroe. I think he struggles with the same thing that I think Alex Orji's gonna struggle with. That 15 to 25 intermediate range is so pivotal, and they had that in the Texas game. I went back and watched the whole thing over and over. They had it. Milroe just held the ball just like he did against us. He just held the ball too long. I don't know if Alex would do that, and we have a different offensive scheme. Don't get that twisted. We do. But I'm worried because if they're anything like us, they're gonna blitz. I mean, they're gonna man up, play some cover zero. They're gonna blitz and get them uncomfortable. So it worries me week 2, even being at the crib.
Really quick, TJ, before you go, I think getting to what we haven't really seen a lot of Alex do is get to a second read, a third read. Right. And that I think is the bigger test. But I'm sorry, go ahead, TJ.
No, I think that's a fair point. I mean, we agree. I mean, week 2, it's gonna get real quick, dude. You know what I mean? Like, that's no joke. I mean, that game is gonna be a playoff like game, and a lot's gonna be riding on it. You know, like a lot of people are like, oh, the games are gonna mean less. Bullshit, that game's gonna mean a lot, bro. And especially for the fan base, right? Like we're all gonna be, unless Orji looks amazing week 1, we're all going to be like, all right, let's get ready. We're not going to know what to do, So, no, I agree with you, man. I mean, I think Orji is capable of doing short to intermediate passes. My concern with Orji is going to be the deep ball. That's a concern, especially when it comes to turnovers. Like, I don't know how accurate he can be with that. I agree with you. He only has 1 complete pass in his career, so like, there's not a good sample size. But at the end of the day, he offers an element that is better than anyone else in the room, and that's the ability to escape the pocket, extend a play. And I do think anything, from 0 to 15 yards, I think he's capable. And as long as with our playmakers, like, so when you have a Colson Loveland and you have a Donovan Everett who can catch out the backfield, and you have like a player like Samaj Morgan who should be able to get open with his acceleration and all that. I mean, I think we're in our offensive line, right? Let's not forget that, one of our biggest weapons there is.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we should be able to still move the ball. Our running game should still be a definite problem. Kirk Campbell's just going to have to get creative. At the end of the day, he's got to make sure Orji has the right playbook. He's comfortable, and we can move the chains. And if not, we'll see who's right. Is Keith right about Jack Tuttle? And are we right about Orji? Is Davis Warren really the guy? We're gonna find out, man. It's I know it's like uneasy because it's like probably it's the most important position on the field. But hopefully fall camp puts us at ease a little bit.
Yeah, I do want to say that Alex. I mean, we heard it from Sean Moore. I think it was one of his interviews. I mean, Alex Orji knows the offense like the back of his hand. That's not the issue. The issue is not it's him being consistent. So I want to get you guys' take before I get up out of here on the week 1. I do think it will be Alex Orji and Jack Tuttle splitting half and half. That's my opinion. I know they want to name a starter before week 1, but I really do think Jack Tuttle is a serious threat. And I don't want him to be, but I do think he's a serious threat. So I'll get you guys' take on that before I get out of here.
I think I'll just say I think that's probably the most accurate, probably the likeliest outcome as we sit here on July 18th. I don't know. What do you think, Miz?
I think it's fair, but I agree with you, TJ. You said something earlier. If Jack Tuttle is the quarterback, we are probably in a little bit of trouble.
Yeah,
I mean, bro is in his 7th year.
At least the ceiling of the season. Like, we're fine that game.
He just got mail from AARP.
Yeah.
And No disrespect,
I
respectfully.
mean, you look at it this way: a GA might be our starting quarterback. So,
Right.
I mean, no disrespect to Tuttle. Like,
Yeah.
also like Kirk Campbell as well. That's a huge teller to me because he's a passing mind, and he's going to transform our offense in years to come. You can kind of see it with the recruiting. So I trust him though. I
Yeah.
trust him whoever he throws out there.
Yeah. We got to let you listen, man. They had an opportunity in the April portal to get a quarterback. They didn't. So, hey, look, the season's on them. And guess what? If they want the pressure on them, they chose their path. They got to make it work. And if they don't make it work, listen, they better, find the solution for next season, whether it's Jaden Davis or a portal quarterback. We'll find out. But thanks, Juju, for calling in, man. I got to get to my
Appreciate
next
you.
call. But it's always good
Yeah, for
talking to you,
sure.
bro. All
Yeah,
right,
Shout
shout
out
out,
to
man.
for
Juju.
sure. Appreciate you.
Go
Go
blue,
blue.
bro. Yeah, we go blue. All right, let's hit these super chats before we move on to my guy B-Dub, the infamous non-shirt wearer B-Dub. All right, so my guy Justin coming through strong. Justin, I feel like we gotta, Moose has an emoji. I think we gotta figure something out for Justin. Justin's one of our main contributors to the channel. He's Santa Justin. I can't believe everyone says OSU defense edge players are rated higher than Michigan players. I find that so wrong. Moore and Stewart, Derek Moore and Josiah Stewart have done more in 1 year than 4 years of, from OSU defense edge players. I mean, look, there's facts to this. I mean, Josiah Stewart and Derek Moore, in my opinion, they're returning starters. They're going to be impact players this year. They were impact players last year in a national championship, almost historic defense, if not historic. It was the number one defense in the nation last year. OSU has a developmental problem.
Yes.
They have these guys ranked in the top 100 and 5 stars. Like our guys are developing. Our system works. Their system, I don't know. I'm so interested to see Ohio State's defensive line play this year. Like, I got to see their trench play and then Will Howard, and then I can see where I'm at on the Ohio State Michigan game.
Yeah. So I think it's a crime too that they're rated higher. JTT has lived now for 3 seasons off that Penn State game. It's carried him.
Yeah.
It's the air beneath his wings now for 3 seasons. And then Sawyer, I just think, like you said, it's a lack of development. These guys were highly rated, right?
Look at
Coming
Zach
out of high
Harrison.
school. Yeah.
Freaking ranked top 10 in the nation.
Yeah.
Look, he was developing into anything.
So I definitely think they do have a developmental problem. They have a lot of problems. The least of which not being that head coach. So, but I want him to stick around. Actually, even when Michigan beats them this year, I hope they don't fire him, keep him, and let him work it out for as long as it takes.
Yeah, I hear you. Especially when we get the 4th straight dub in a row. All right, Justin, let's get you next to the chat. Alex Orji passed to Peyton O'Leary in spring game shows me he can pass the ball. I agree with this. I mean, look, going into the spring game, I was concerned. Watching the spring game, my concern was lessened. I mean, I felt good. I felt optimistic about it. I actually thought Davis Warren looked good. I thought Alex Orji looked good. I think we will be okay. Like, if I had to like what is my prediction or what would I project our offense to look like? I think we will be okay. I think we will be a good team. I think we'll be like we were with JJ McCarthy. Absolutely not. That's a top 10 quarterback. But I do think we're going to be competent enough to score enough points to win games. Our defense is going to be good enough to keep our offense in games. Yeah, I do feel good about it. But I'll tell you what does concern me. The Jack Tuttle talk going into camp. Like, what is this? I don't know if they're trying to it could be maybe they just want these kids to earn it.
Yeah.
Nothing handed to you. Simply saying, look, Jack Tuttle's in the race. It could be a dual quarterback system. And, because the reality is this too, you don't want any of these kids to think that anything is handed to them, So, that could be that approach as well with Sharon and Kirk Campbell.
I agree. And I like I said, we've now talked about this a couple of times. I think Alex Orji looked good in that spring game. Like I said, he looked calm, he looked composed. Even early on when things weren't necessary, I think he missed like a throw that, one throw that was very completable I don't even know if completable is a word there. I might have just made that up. But but after that, I thought he looked great.
Yeah. Les Austin, the show should do a Venmo, PayPal, Cash App. Stay tuned, bro. That's all I'll say. It's coming soon, bro. We're definitely looking into that pathway. That for those who don't know, YouTube takes 30% of all super chats. Worse than the government. Anyways, all right. So next on the docket is my guy B Dub. What is up, bro?
What's
Fellow
going on?
Xbox player, what is up, man?
What's going on, man? Just
Are
chilling
you
here. It's
sipping on anything tonight, dude?
honestly, dude, I was cookies and milk.
Jesus,
Nice.
B-Dub. What's the matter
Dude,
with
it's
you,
a
bro?
family
At least
size
that's a
too.
healthier route than alcohol, I guess.
That's
That's
very
true.
American right there.
It
Yeah.
is, man. You gotta get the family size though. Gotta get the family size. Um, but no, actually, no. Speaking of like the Ohio State stuff, I laughed because like Sam Wood was talking about today. He said that the athletic director of Ohio State's like, yeah, Ryan Day's got a dynasty going and stuff. And I was like,
Yeah.
if they got a dynasty, keep it going, please.
Jesus.
All
Right?
right.
That is
Yeah, no.
horrible.
Those comments were freaking insane, bro. Whatever. Listen, we've said it here many times. They are delusional down there, bro. Like, I don't understand.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what is going on. Like, their culture's weird. Like, it's like broke. They can't accept reality. They can't look in the mirror. They think they're great. It's like the elite athlete who's past his prime and doesn't realize his knees are going out. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
Yeah.
bro, they need to like really like whatever. Let them have this false belief and shit, and we'll just keep smacking them down to earth. Even though I don't know if they're ever gonna face reality ever. I don't know.
I
Yeah.
don't think so. I think like Maze Madman says it, and I think everyone who really knows what's going on in Ohio State, I think realize it's obviously a cultural problem. Like he's a pro guy. He's a pro. Ryan Day, if he went to the pros, I'm pretty sure he'd fit right in like a glove, right? Like he'd just be running all types of great schemes and pass concepts and stuff in the NFL. But in college, it's more about the culture, about what you bring to the team. There's a reason, which honestly I don't think it's ever. I mean, it's looking really bad for college to pros and then pros to college. I mean, the last pro going to college is Lovie Smith. That didn't work out very well for him, and then Urban Meyer college to pro. It doesn't work like that. There's a reason why they separate. There's a reason why the coaching trees develop within the ranks, right? Because you got to be hoorah and culture in college, and in pros, it's not like that. You don't need to do that. People show up to work no matter what on time. So
Right.
yeah, no, I agree
I agree with
with that.
Yeah, I think Ryan Day is not a leader of men, but I think bringing in Chip Kelly was a savvy move. I think
Yep.
listen, they're a formidable opponent. At the end of the day, they are. They're not a pushover. It's not like Michigan State right now, who's really down and out trying to find themselves. I mean, they're at least a competent. I mean, they're an elite program. I was gonna say a competent program. They're above competent. They're elite, but they just have some self-awareness issues right now. I don't know. It's funny to see. I mean, it took Michigan to really reflect and look at itself to get its shit together. And Jim Harbaugh did that because his back was against the wall. I see the opposite approach with Ryan Day, man.
Yep. I agree. I think they got a bunch, like I said, they got a bunch of nice scratch off tickets over there, and they scratch one off and hope that it's the big one. Because they're not taking the time really to develop those guys. Even a guy like Larry Johnson, who, if this was 10 years ago, had an amazing track record, right, in terms of like what he was developing along that defensive line. Now it's more, we're recruiting the defensive line well, but are these guys at the end of their tenure here? And that's proven not to be the case since like Chase, right?
Yep. Nope, I agree, and I feel like he might have ran into some dingers there, with the Bosas,
Right.
I don't know. I see Larry Johnson. Obviously, he's been there a long time. It seems like the D line coach, but I just don't
he can
feel
stay
like
too.
he does much.
Yeah.
I know we didn't do much too. We're all great Greg Madison was okay and stuff, but you
Oh,
know, I
No, Greg
did not
Madison
like
was actually
Gary.
pretty legit.
Huh?
Don Brown was the problem, not Greg Madison.
Yeah. Yeah, I just didn't like Gary. I did not like Gary. Loved Winovich, did not like Gary.
mhm.
It was a lot of hoopla, and I'm like, dude, this guy's gonna
Well,
take over, and he never did.
bro,
He never
they had
took
him
over. I
playing.
had
The problem, so that's Don Brown though. Don Brown had him playing a closed end position, so he had to set his edge, dude. He couldn't. That was his responsibility on a lot of the plays. He wasn't able to just rush the quarterback, and like you see what he's
But
doing in Green Bay. He was, I mean,
Right.
as good as our defenses were, he was kind of misused.
yeah, but people have also said that now about JTT and the system that I can't think of his name off the top of my head, but the you know the new coordinator from Oklahoma State. That's
Yeah,
what they say too. Like, oh well, he's supposed to hold the edge. You know, it's a secondary, sack type of defense. You know, where the secondary you have to have good secondary, and then we can get sacks and stuff off of coverage. And I'm like, people are like, well, that's great, but you still gotta try, right?
Facts.
Oh,
yeah.
I also
No, you're not wrong.
yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was getting distracted by the chat. I got to get to that because
Okay.
Samson Moose, Oprah Moose is handing out memberships now. We'll get to those. But
Okay.
yeah, no,
Well,
I
no.
agree with you, man. Jim Knowles, I believe, is the defensive coordinator for
Yeah, Jim Knowles. Yeah.
Ohio
Yeah.
State right now. But yeah, I mean, like, you're not wrong, man. Like, that's the thing too, is like you gotta like your system has to fit your players. And
Yeah.
if your system isn't, or your system has to evolve to your players. If you have certain types of, which is why we're going to find out with Michigan, Alex Orji, I guarantee you that playbook's a lot different than if it's Davis Warren.
Mhm.
You know
Oh,
what I
that
mean?
is
That's a different playbook.
100%.
And
I
I
don't know.
think
I've
Michigan.
been, yeah.
Go on.
No, I was gonna say I've been in the Twitter Spaces, and I obviously Toast Media, if he's in the chat, he'll let you know how he feels. That's for sure. But because I heard him talk, and he was very passionate about Orgy. But it's definitely as we talk about it more and more, and just everything comes to the surface more. Yeah, no, I think it definitely is something to be a bit scared about of Orgy. This isn't the type of schedule, sadly, like other Michigan schedules have been like when JJ McCarthy was coming up, where there was some fluff balls in there. It was like four or five, fluff ball games. They're like, yeah, he could get in there and don't worry, like don't just do what you do and we'll be okay. This is
Right.
not that type of schedule, and sadly, I feel like if they're thinking Orgy's going in, like everyone else is thinking, they're just gonna load the box, and it's like, okay, you gotta make tight throws on the outside, my man, and you gotta make those throws. And like you said, like the 15 to 20 range, like you gotta hit those throws. That's what made JJ two great things about JJ was one, he had the arm strength to just scramble out of the pocket a bit, boom, hit
Yeah.
the throw on the sideline.
Hey,
Okay,
Orgy has
beautiful.
arm strength too, though. It's just the accuracy that's the issue.
Correct. It's the accuracy, right? JJ
Yeah.
eventually got it in his final year here. So, because that was always something we were questioning on JJ McCarthy, footwork and trying to hit those quick hitch throws. So, and he fixed that. So yeah, that's something that people are probably worried about when it comes to Orgy and his accuracy when they are going to probably load the box. And yeah, we can run options and sweeps, and we can run a bunch of motion and stuff to try to get some people open for those quick throws. But
Crossing routes against man defense, as Don Brown never figured out, by the way. And Urban Meyer, much obliged.
Coverage, dude.
Yeah,
Coverage.
yeah, man. But I agree. I hear what you're saying. I think that's Kirk Campbell and Sharon Moore and those guys on the offensive side have to plan for that sort of thing, right? Like what you're saying, they load the box and they're just gonna depend on these guys one-on-one. They got to take advantage of it somehow, whether it's with some read option or crossing routes. It's the most fundamental thing, but absolutely.
Yeah, and just my last point, I do find it fun. I haven't gotten college football yet. I'm going to get it tomorrow, even though my wife doesn't feel like I should get it, but I'm going to.
I think you should. I think you should be there. I think you should.
Right.
I am
Just let her know I
have a
said the
lot.
shit.
Yeah, that's gonna go well.
Yeah, just let her know.
TJ told
TJ
me.
said I should get it. All right, honey. This, it's all right.
That's right. TJ told me. Yeah, and then I run away. But no, I find it funny that apparently in the game, Ohio, like if you play Ohio State, which I'll never know, but Ohio State people have shown that when they go to customize their jersey, their custom jersey, that it
Yeah.
instantly shows a Michigan jersey.
Yeah.
Dude. Oh, shit. That is hilarious.
That's
That's what I
beautiful.
love.
Right.
That is just a chef's
Yeah.
kiss. That's like, oh, damn, dude.
Yeah, no, that is funny. Yeah, so essentially, like, I think it's like, what is the developer, the head of the game is a Michigan alum, so he's been trolling Ohio State the entire lead up to the game launch, which is just amazing, dude. So yeah, we got
It
to
is.
support the game for that alone, bro.
I know, and all the fans, all the OSU fans on Twitter, dude, are just like, dude, really? Like, just, come on, dude. And I love it. But one last point. One last point before I go.
All right, yeah.
The barbecue at the big house.
Yep,
A lot of huge people hopefully going to show up.
they will.
Obviously, I heard the Babaloa thing, which sort of sucks. I guess not really what we wanted. I guess right, like you said, wanted it quicker than later.
Yeah.
But what about cornerback? Are there going to be any cornerback commit possible
Oh yeah.
people there? Because I know what we
Yes.
talked about the one kid out of Kilgore, Texas. He's
Jaden
coming,
Sanders.
right? Yeah, is
Yeah,
he
he's
coming?
coming, and he's also making a decision right after, and I have a lock on him.
Okay, and then what about the one from Colorado? Is he coming too?
Is
Like, we
that
got another one?
Oh, the kid from Detroit that plays at IMG.
Alex Graham? Oh, you're talking about
Yeah,
Alex
Graham.
Graham.
yeah.
So Alex Graham, that's an interesting recruitment. I feel like Michigan they had him back on campus about like a month or two ago to kind of rehatch things because things kind of faded away there,
Yeah.
just like other recruitments. I feel like they're keeping the stakes hot on that one.
I feel
I
like
think
they
they're
can get
kind of
him if they press the gas.
I think if they pushed for it, they could get him too, but there seems to be a reason why they're not, and I don't fully
Yeah.
know why that is.
Yeah, is there
Actually, I
other
do.
commits coming
No,
possible?
I
Like
do know.
other people?
Well,
Cornerback
Adonis
wise?
Curry is a big one, but hold on, let me hit on
Okay.
Alex Graham. So they want to see. So from my understanding, they want to see Alex Graham last the season without an injury. They want to see if he can be
Yeah.
durable.
Okay.
That's a big thing for him. So they're going to be watching that. Alex Graham very well could be in this class by National Signing Day, but I think they want to like see how he plays his senior season. So we'll see where that goes. And then you're talking about Adonis Curry is the name to watch. They're trying. He's committed to Texas A&M. That's definitely a player to watch. They're definitely, they're definitely trying to make a move there. And there'll be others too. Like I fully expect Michigan to turn the heat up on some corners, more corners. I think more names will shake from the trees soon. Listen, even though like I know our like recruiting pool kind of seems a little, it's like it's shrinking. Like if I go to my list right now, I have 11 names right now. I got 11. And there's
11 and there's only what, 9 spots.
And the reason why I have 11 is because I only track players who I don't waste my time. You know what I mean? I don't waste my time. Like I'm aware of other players, but like it's just not. One, I'm not bringing it to the channel because I'm not wasting the channel's time. And two, like I don't need to file recruitments. I don't think we have a chance with. So right now we got 11 targets. I feel like we're in a good run for. That will expand. That's going to expand with senior risers. It's going to expand with coaches. I mentioned it earlier. Coaches getting fired, teams playing poorly, and then also Michigan's going to identify guys just like they did last year with Josiah Edmonds. They're going to find, they'll find somebody. I feel like we'll be all right. We'll be okay.
Yeah, no, I thought I was very optimistic in the beginning of the season, and I feel like now I feel like we're in a really good position. Oregon has just the same amount of commits as we do. Obviously they're a little different. They're shooting really high, and probably not going to close till signing day on a lot of their players. But I think Michigan's doing well, and I do also agree with the previous guy, Juju, on the whole Brian G. Marie, casting a small net, and some of them are high profile, right? And I was like, nah, that sucks, right? Like it's one thing if you're good at what you do, like I said with previously when it came to Sharon Moore, and his online recruiting. Obviously, he might cast a smaller, higher tier net for a reason. I just feel like that. I don't know what he was thinking. I'm assuming he maybe thought he was hot shit, and I was like, dude, I can get these guys. And they're like, "Are you sure about that?" And he's like, "Yeah." And like, you only got like 3 or 4 people on your list. You know that, right? And they're like, "Yeah, don't worry." And we're worried.
Yeah, no, we'll have to see, man. Hey, listen, man, if you get to Wasu Boateng, are you gonna write it in pen or pencil? Letter.
Apparently, me and Moose are I don't know what we're gonna celebrate. We may go out for a drink or something because
There you go.
Moose
There
has
you
got
go.
money on that hardcore. He's got some hardcore money on that apparently.
I believe it, bro. Moose goes hard in the fucking paint, dude. Like I love Moose, dude. Moose is like the ultimate like diehard fan, bro. He lives and dies with this team. His day literally is good or bad with the like with the
He was
news going on. But if things are trending well, it's a good day. If it's not trending well, Moose is like fucking
yeah.
pissed.
Right.
He was literally DMing me through Twitter last week when everything was heating up, going off of stats, off of the point system. Oh, there you go. See, you just said off of the point system on how many points every person. I know Moose is a bit older than me for sure,
Yeah.
but he tracks his stuff religiously. Like, oh yeah, Moose Boateng would be 23.4 points, and then Philip Wright would be 21.6 points. And I was like, I just hope
Moose
they
is all
come,
in,
bro.
dude. Moose is all in, dude. He's all in, dude. He's definitely all in. But all right, B-Dub,
Okay.
appreciate having you on, man. I got to get to our guy, Nick, also fellow member. I'm sure we'll all be chatting next week in the members hangout, which is Jan. I know you're watching. We got to get that figured out for all of our members. For all of our members who are on the, what is it? Those who stay or higher tier, next week we're going to have, I think it's, well, let me just double check the calendar. Okay, maybe not next week. It's going to be either next week or the week after. We're going to have a members hangout. Look in the community for a poll. We'll be setting a poll up so this way we can figure out what date is best for everybody. We'll definitely, we'll definitely keep you guys all tapped in. Pay attention to the community poll. What up? Oh, I know. We got to figure that out because we have almost 50 members. We're at like 50 members now. So actually, we are probably over 50 members now with all the gifts. So yeah, we'll figure it out. We'll get it going. But yeah, I appreciate you. All right, my man.
No problem, man. Smash, guys. Blue, go blue.
Yeah,
go blue.
Wow, dude. My guy B-Dub, bro. My guy B-Dub. All right, let's hit these. Yeah, let's hit these. All right, my guy Tom Bashar gifted a membership. Appreciate you, Tom, for gifting membership. Not only being a part of the community, but building the community. It does mean a lot. I just we got more gifted memberships we're going to get to, but just everybody doing a super chat, everybody watching, everybody liking the channel. Just being a part of it, sharing, commenting, being in the chat, our mods in the chat. You guys all rock. I mean, just at the end of the day, we appreciate it. You guys are helping us do more. And I assure you more is coming. Like, we got some big plans. As you guys know, we got Andrew Marsh coming next week. We got a lot of things coming down the pipeline, not only for the channel, but the network. I'm working on some serious shit right now for the network. I will release that when we can. But yeah, there's a lot of things coming, and stay tuned. Stay tuned. If you are a fan of the Voice of College Football as a network, just wait, guys, because we got some big things coming. And then Moose, hey, my guy Moose, Oprah Moose, you get a membership. You get a membership. He's throwing out memberships. We appreciate that. Thank you, Moose. As we know, you are one of our day ones, and we got your back because you got our back. Another membership gifted by Moose. Appreciate that, man. As you know, and just we fuck with you, man. We appreciate it. Justin, my guy, also has our back all the time. I mean, really, Justin's making it happen. I feel like we got to do something for Justin. Look at OSU's cornerback that play in the NFL. They're mostly backups. The only ones that become stars come before Ryan Day took over. I mean, look at Jeff Okuda. Although I think that was under the Urban Meyer era, actually, now that I think about it. But yeah, I mean, dude, their cornerback play has gone down. Their defensive line, I mean, since Ryan Day's taken over, offensive line play has gone down, cornerback play has gone down, linebacker play has gone down, offensive line, I don't even know if I said that already, but if I did, let's say it twice. Offensive line play has gone down.
The trenches, period. Defensive line.
Yeah, the foundation, like Ohio State fans don't want to acknowledge this. And let's also be real. They could fix it in one offseason. They really could.
Yeah.
But their foundation is cracking, bro. Now they can fix it. There's no question they have the resources, they have the brand, they're always going to be a problem.
Right.
But there's serious shit going on in Columbus, and they're just some fans are aware. Some fans, we have a lot of rational, legit Ohio State fans, and like, look, I do give Ohio State fans some shit. It's like I got to qualify now. Like, look, it's all love, respect. It's still fu, but it's all love and respect. But like, look, you guys got some self-reflection shit that needs to go on right now, and I think you guys also. I don't think anyone can say I'm 100% confident in Ryan Day. I don't think anyone can say that. So we'll see what happens this season. I agree, Justin. There's some questions going on with that stuff down there, and then. Let's Toast Media. Salute y'all brothers. EJ, I'm TJ, but we'll take EJ.
Right.
I'll be John. I can be bought, I guess. And then we got Maze Madmen, back-to-back. See y'all Mercedes Stadium, my guy. Hey, I went to the Sugar Bowl in 2011, and I went to Mercedes-Benz Stadium. I went to when it was New Orleans, when it was Mercedes-Benz Stadium. Now I think Atlanta's Mercedes-Benz Stadium. Now,
right? Yeah.
Yeah, they switched. So in 2011, Mercedes-Benz Stadium was the Superdome. They sponsored it. So, yeah, that was dope, though. That was dope. Maybe I will make it down there. We'll see. I might. Maybe. All right. Then Justin coming through again. Is Marshall on campus yet? Yes, Marshall is on campus. He's enrolled. They all are. So, as you know, Micah Capana, we had him on. All the freshmen are now on campus. So, they all came in, I think it was end of June. So they're all on campus right now. They're getting ready for fall camp. They're doing a bunch of like morning lifts at like 5 a.m. and shit, or maybe it's 6 a.m. I don't know. They're waking up early as hell. They're putting in work. They're also doing some classes, I think. So, yep, the boys are working right now. All right.
Very
so
nice.
I think I covered everybody there. All right, let's get our last caller of the night, Nick, my guy, certified ball knower. What is up, bro?
How's it going, boys? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
What up? Okay. First of all, I just want to say I don't know how much you guys watch Chris Ballas, but he strikes me as a little pessimistic at times, to say the least.
Sometimes.
So he keeps clamoring about this, pounding the desk about, this is going to be on the coaches if the season doesn't work out in our favor because they didn't hit the transfer portal for a quarterback. And he's on this train, but he never approaches or will address the question. At least I haven't heard him. Who would they have gotten? Like who was in the transfer portal when Michigan found out that JJ was going to the league that they could have went and got?
Yeah. So the first window, they missed their shot. They went after Dante Moore, but the problem was with the Dante Moore because he transferred. The issue there was we didn't know what JJ was going to do. We didn't know what Jim Harbaugh was going to do. They actually stopped looking in the portal when Harbaugh started getting taking the calls for the Chargers, and they actually totally stopped because they didn't know what was going on. They didn't know if Jim was coming back. They didn't know what JJ didn't even make a decision yet. And for those who don't know, I'll let people in. And this is not my take. This is Sam Webb's take. They did not offer JJ a competitive NIL package to return. And this was also before Michigan had got its NIL game together. So it was just a bad situation. Michigan was in a transition and they didn't know what to do. Also, remember, the NCAA shit was hot. Like it still was kind of, we were going into the playoffs and, it was just a really, we were put in a bad spot. It wasn't handled the best. So if you want to put a strike on Michigan there, I mean, I think you can. I mean, it's just they didn't know. They didn't. So when they were trying to recruit kids in the transfer portal or quarterbacks, and they reached out to some. There was actually a kid. Oh, never mind. That was the April transfer portal. Never mind. There was another quarterback. That was April though. All right, but when they were trying to pitch to kids in the December portal, they couldn't guarantee that JJ wouldn't be back. And when you're talking about these elite talents, they don't want to play behind JJ. So they were put in a bad spot.
Well, Dante Moore wasn't a guarantee. I mean, I know they went after Dante Moore, but there's no evidence that we've seen that he's a competent starter. I mean, you've seen him make some high upside passes here and there at UCLA, but I don't know. I'm not a big believer in him, but I'm with you. I think it's less about looking at the portal and grabbing a guy and more about in the past. That's really an issue of previous years recruiting. You should have had that, that competent starter lined up, kind of like they're doing now with recruiting. We got Jaden Davis, Carter Smith, Brady Hart. I mean, it's just boom, boom, boom. They just didn't have that in the past. So, but yeah, that's interesting. So, who are each of you guys predicting to be the starter, or you think will end up being the starter?
Yeah, so we have the same guy, but I'll go first. If I had to put, like, someone's like, all right, you got to put money on it, you have a gun to your head, I'm going Alex Orji. What do you got, Maze Man?
Same. I think Alex Orji is the week one starter. I think we open the show with that one. But yeah, at this moment right now, I think it's Alex Orji.
Okay. Yeah, I'm on that train too. And if he doesn't look great week one, I'm not going to panic because I'm a big time believer in quarterbacks improving throughout the year.
Yes.
So, I mean, now we have Texas week 2, so that could potentially be a problem.
Yeah.
But
that's the issue.
That is the issue.
Them in,
it's not the schedule, right? Last year, I think it would have been a better schedule to break in a new quarterback, right? This one, he has to hit the ground running, kind of, but and I mean that figuratively and maybe literally too.
The good news is that Texas game is early and it's out of conference, so we could still absorb that loss and still have a legitimate shot at having a good postseason. So again, I'm not too worried about it. I'm assuming that, or I'm guessing that they're gonna start Alex day one, and I don't think he's gonna look particular. I don't think he'll be a disaster, but I don't think he'll look particularly sharp, especially early in the season. And you know how the fan base is going to be early on, and they're going to start having a semi-meltdown. But I think they'll get it figured out. So I'm really not that concerned about it. But where the hell is this Tuttle smoke coming from?
Keith.
Your boy. Well, all right. So from our channel, it's Keith. But your boy Chris Ballas is pushing the Tuttle smoke, bro.
Oh, so he's getting it from good old Chris. Okay. I just want to say this.
Well, I'm not saying that's where Keith's getting it, but Chris Ballas has been on record saying Tuttle might be a dual quarterback situation with Tuttle, and that's he's the only one I've heard that from. So I mean, that's been from his perspective.
He also made the point though, which I thought was really stupid. Was not Keith, Chris. Was really stupid. He was saying, I was watching a video earlier today with him in it, and he was like, well, if they're going to start Alex Orji, they're going to have to tailor the offense and change the playbook to Alex Orji's strength. Okay, are they really? Does anybody really believe that they're going to roll Alex Orji out there and not have an offensive system that's suited to his strengths? One of the dumbest fucking Anyway, yeah, and not only that, but one of the things that really has irked me about Chris specifically is last year he was complaining and bitching nonstop about the offensive line throughout the entire year, and then they go on and they win a national championship. So anyway, the guy's a little pessimistic, and I don't know. He's been wrong on a few things, so I don't know what his sources are, but I take what he says with a grain of salt. So, but.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know where I stand on it. It's I'll say this: I think Sam Webb is the most tapped in of anybody. I also think Sam plays his cards well. To not rock any boats. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But he's probably the most tapped in. Chris Ballas is obviously Chris Ballas has connections. He's tapped in as well. But I'll say this about Chris Ballas. Chris Ballas likes to give a lot of perspectives that he's feeling, not necessarily what he's hearing sometimes. So that's kind of, and I can appreciate that too, though, because he's far more tapped in than me, I don't have anywhere near the sources that Chris Ballas has, and he's getting what he's hearing, and then he's forming his own perspective, and sometimes he shares that with his community, and look, sometimes, one thing I'll give Chris Ballas a lot of credit for, man, is he is not afraid to talk about any topic. Shout out to that. He's not afraid to talk about NIL. It's not
behind a
taboo.
paywall, though, right?
Yeah, but I mean that's his business, man.
No, I know. I'm just,
he's got to pay bills like everyone else, man. So like, they all have their thing. And then look, I'll say this about EJ Howland, hardest worker in the game. It's just, in terms of those three, those are the three that I put in a class above the rest of the insiders and stuff. But not here. But listen, they all got the pros and cons, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah. So where are we at? Did you address this? I don't know if you addressed this earlier in the show, but where are we sitting with Derek Meadows? I can't tell. It kind of sounds like it seems like one minute there's some smoke there, and the next it's like, not really. And then like it just keeps going on.
Yeah. So with Derek Meadows, Michigan made a move last Friday. They made an aggressive move financially with NIL, as well as pitch in terms of playing time. So that's another thing too. We didn't really hit on that. They're stressing early playing time. Like, listen, you get on the field, you're an elite player. We think you can play maybe as soon as the next season, like that type of shit. So it made a move. It made Derek Meadows pause and question. He delayed his commitment a week. I know. So as of Monday, my guy said LSU was the leader. I know there's been some other people who are insiders for Michigan who think Notre Dame might be the leader. I'm sticking with LSU right now. I also saw someone else mention LSU today. My guy is pretty on things. I mean, listen, I'm not gonna say he's always right because I was wrong on Marco Jones, but I'm gonna go with LSU. I think LSU is gonna land it. But look, there's 2 more days until Saturday. Anything can happen. A phone call can happen. But I also think Michigan looks at Jerome Miles as another opportunity, and I don't think they're going to push it any further. And I'm assuming that's not intel. I just kind of feel like there comes a point where the price point gets too high. Because here's the thing: Notre Dame and LSU are up in offers, so they're both coming in heavy. So
now we got
to look out for Jerome Miles if we can't get Derek Meadows.
Are you higher?
Which I would settle for, by the way.
Yeah, me too. I actually like Jerome Miles a little more.
Isn't Jerome Miles faster than Phillip Wright?
Yes, and he's 6'3", 215. He's perfect. He's exactly like everyone who wants our offense to evolve. Well, that's him, Andrew Marsh, Andrew Olish, and then you have Jordan Marshall, Michael Capana. Like you have the weapons to evolve this. And Brady Hart and Jaden Davis is capable. Carter Smith, if you can, we have the weapons. We can get there.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. Are there so TJ, have you heard of any names that are popping up in recruiting for this cycle? Some new names, like any new, are they going after anyone new that we really haven't heard much about? Or is it just kind of
name? The newest name, I think, I can't remember his name off the top of my head. I haven't paid close attention to it because he's committed to Virginia Tech. There's a defensive lineman out of Virginia Tech. One of the commenters will probably know. That's a name that's kind of on the radar right now. Other than that, no. I think honestly what I think's happening, and this happens a lot, they're going to wait for fall evaluations to reoffer kids or find the next group of kids that they're going to be looking for. Because there's going to be senior risers. That's the thing. There's going to be kids who are going to really take the next step, and they're going to shine. And these kids are going to watch. You're going to see kids jump into the top 100 or the top 200 because they just have some kids are going to regress. Like some of these kids who are ranked high, they're not going to have good senior years. They're going to regress. Some of these, and there's going to be other kids who are really going to outperform their ranking from the previous year. So Michigan's gonna be on the lookout for that. So I think they're kind of in evaluation mode or wait until the fall season kicks off for high school football.
Yeah, I agree. Not too many new names that we haven't talked about or heard about before, but certainly, as TJ alluded to, there will be for a plethora of reasons, whether it's teams falling off during the season or senior risers, that sort of thing. So it'll definitely happen.
All right, cool. All right, well, I'm just going to keep it nice and short call this time. So that's all I got. So thanks, guys.
Appreciate you,
Absolutely,
man. Thanks for calling in, bro.
Go Blue.
Yep. Go Blue, bro. All right, let's hit some of these. We got some super chats. All right, our guy, super genius. He's not just a genius; he's a super genius. I'm hopeful Babalola commits. Maze Madman, love your show. He's upset, bro. I'm upset, bro.
I'm upset.
Yeah.
Man, that's amazing. But yeah, I'm hopeful. I think everybody's hopeful for Babalola.
Yeah.
That would be amazing, actually, if
Big time.
Michigan can land them. And I think they're in a pretty decent spot right now. So
I do too. I said if I think we are in a good spot. We'll find out August 12th. I'm sure from now. Listen, we got a month. Something's
right.
going to come out. We'll keep our ears to the ground. I know Maze Madman's going to be all over it. I'm going to be all over it. We'll see. We'll see what comes up of it. And then thoughts on Mr. Babalola. We kind of hit on it, but so the situation is he's going to make a decision August 12th. I'll say this though. All right. There is some positive in the sense of this. A while ago, I heard he wanted to commit at the end of August. Okay. So now we're talking August 12th. It is sooner than expected. But the reason why I'm not jumping on a lock is because I know Michigan wanted to close him by the end of July. And that's not, so he didn't do that. He obviously wants to think about it more. I mean the kid, that doesn't mean it's bad for Michigan either. It just means if they did get the decision date before the end of July, I'd put a lock in because I would know that Michigan got what they wanted, and you're not doing that unless you're kind of all in on that type of thing. So we'll see. Michigan has made it extremely difficult, extremely good push. In the sense, Stanford was way ahead.
Yeah.
Michigan made a lot of ground. We'll see. I mean, it's all going to come down to August 12th, and we'll see what they can do with it.
Absolutely. Yeah, my thoughts are the same. I thought that can't help but think it's going to be Scarlet and Blue. By the way, Scarlet and Blue show. I don't know if you're familiar with them, TJ.
I'm
Another
kind of
excellent.
familiar. I've seen some of their stuff. I think one of their guys is following me on Twitter. I think.
Absolutely. I saw another guy, Mr. Johnny Olden Jr., the real king of the North. If you know, you know. He has a great channel as well. But on the Babalola point, I think, like I said, Michigan's in a good spot. I think that the August 12th date is good for Michigan. TJ, like he pointed out, he had some great points and, in fact, pointed out some great facts that Michigan was trying to, was pushing for an earlier commitment, which I think would have bode well for them. But a little time to think about it maybe does hurt Michigan a little, but I think it's a good thing for Michigan.
Yeah, I mean, the good news is the decision's coming in a month, so we'll get an idea from there. And then we got another super chat. Let's hit that before we close out. Justin, I hope we still look for gems like Colson Loveland in small football states. Well, guess what, Justin? If you love gems like Colson Loveland, there is a tight end. I have him here. Let's see, 2026. Matt Ludwig. Get familiar with Matt Ludwig. He's a tight end that they feel is very similar to Colson Loveland, and he's out of not necessarily a small state. Well, it's a small football state, Montana.
Yeah.
So this is one of your little gems. I'm starting to pay attention to 2026 because there's only 9 spots kind of left. I mean, we'll see what Michigan does, but there's essentially maybe 7 to 11 spots left in the class. So I'm starting to look at 2026, especially because barbecue at the big house is going to be big for 2026. So Matt Ludwig is a good one to know. Tight end, 2026 class. Brady Hart's working on that one. Yes, we'll see what they can do.
It's some good guys that are going to be
yes
at the barbecue.
That's looking good too. By the way, we might. Yeah, that's looking. That's the running back. For those who don't know, Savion. His last name is actually pronounced Hitter. Savion Hitter.
Yeah.
Be careful. Don't put an L in there. But yeah. So be mindful when you say that last name. But at the end of the day, hey, Michigan's doing work. And I'll say this: I think 2026 class is going to be better than 2025, and 2025 is looking damn good. We're a top 10 class. We're 8th nationally in average. Michigan is doing the damn thing. And for everybody who's watching and those who are unsubscribed, help us catch OSU. There's no reason they should be 710 subscribers ahead of us. That's bullshit. Maze Madman, is that bullshit? That's bullshit.
That is absolutely bullshit.
Yeah, we can't be
And we
having
all
that.
know that this guy can run anybody down. I'm convinced of it.
Yeah, Kenneth Grant's gonna, he's getting after Ryan Day, and we got to get Kenneth Grant to get Ryan Day because Kenneth Grant's getting disrespected in these preseason polls. He's not getting all Big Ten mention or All American mention. That's some bullshit too.
Very
So we don't put up with that. We don't put up with that. We just keep working and we keep getting closer and closer to our goals. And then we got another super chat. Let's hit on that. Any talent in New York, super genius. I don't want to give you an answer that isn't a good one. As it stands, I don't for 2025. No, 2026. I'm still building my board. I'm slowly building it because I really, and those who have watched us for a while, I am not big on going a year forward, but because we have Brady Hart and because I know for a fact Michigan is trying to build an extremely top end class for 2026, they are already working on that class, not only for in terms of building their boards, but NIL wise, they're strategizing for it.
Mm-hmm.
So Michigan's going to be very heavy on 2026. If there is any New York talent, I'll definitely put it on my board I got, and I'll be sure to update you, man. But thank you again for the super chat. Appreciate you, man. Yeah, all right. And then just want to make sure I got them all. So yeah, so anyone who is unsubscribed, please subscribe to Michigan Football, the voice of college football. We've been doing great. Our channel is growing like crazy right now, and I appreciate every single one of you in the Michigan community. I appreciate every single one from Mays Madman's community. And all of our community going to check out Mays Madman because he's obviously a certified ball knower, but obviously like just legit, man. I appreciate you having you on the show, bro.
I appreciate you having me, man.
Yeah, definitely, dude. We'll do it again too, man. We'll have you
Absolutely.
on again. Yeah, so
yeah,
let the people know.
You gotta come by too, man.
Yeah. Hey, get at me. Just DM me or whatever. Email me. I sent you a email, man. You're like, hey, what's going on with that Thursday show? I shot that email to you. Like,
right. Yeah. Yeah, no. You know what? I'm horrible at checking emails, by the way. John had to like remind me to check the email actually. But I'll get better at that.
All good, brother. All good. I'll just DM you now. But yeah, definitely, dude. Yeah, so let them know where they can find you.
Yeah, everywhere at Mays Madman. It's very simple. The channel, the YouTube, the Twitter, Instagram, all of it. Mays Madman. Dependent Fanatic, one of the day ones. This guy right here was actually like a day one for my channel, some 2 years ago. So shout out to him. He's doing his own thing too now. But yeah, TJ, John, Voice of College Football, thanks for having me.
Yeah, absolutely, man. No, thanks for being on here. Dependent Fanatic, we appreciate you. Our mods are the shit. He's actually a member now because he's been gifted. We have a very generous community. Again, thanks everybody who's making this happen. Like, look, and I'm sure you're excited, bro. I'm sure you're excited. It's freaking July. Wait till the season kicks off. Shit's gonna be it's gonna be bumping, dude. So Justin throwing his another $2 at us like we're a stripper. Are we still looking overseas for kids? Well, we have that one dude. What's his name? Shit. We got a connection overseas with my guy. Why can't I think of his name? Maybe someone in the comments will know, but he's got like some academy over there where he's identifying these like talents. It's how we got Kumba, and we got Manuel Beagle also through this, who's big. Like, I think he's gonna be big time, or at least a definite strong player. There's another player we got through the kid with the crazy ankle flexion. I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but yeah. So there is a pipeline over there. I don't know of any overseas kids for this cycle, but I do know Michigan's always on the lookout for those. You never know. I mean, there's always David Ojabo is an interesting one. We didn't get him through that pipeline, but he was like in Scotland, and then he got like 1 year of high school ball over in like New Jersey or something like that, some prep school. So Marlon Klein from Germany, he Michigan's had some solid contributors from overseas. Yeah, we'll see. Marlon Klein from Germany, Beagle. Brandon something. I agree. I can't remember his last name either. He's legit. He's a big supporter of Michigan. He's always I don't want to say pushing kids towards us, but he's letting them know, you can come here and get developed and get an opportunity in the NFL. So shout out to him. But again, thank you everybody for watching the show tonight. We are one show away from 10. So we got a new and Darren Talks Ball will be joining me on the next call-in show. So stay tuned to that. Yeah, Darren, my guy. So I am TJ Ronin. You can find me at TJ_Ronin on Twitter. Get at me. And next Tuesday, be on the lookout. We got the interview with Andrew Marsh. Definitely check that out. Also, I will be covering barbecue at the Big House, and we will see what else happens over the weekend. Stay tuned to that. And as you know, we got you and appreciate everybody. And as always, go blue.
Of course. Go